A rich guy left his home to be a houseboy just to find a woman that will truly love him. Liam Wakazi had everything a man could dream of: wealth, luxury, and influence. As the only son of a renowned business tycoon in Nairobi, he lived in a grand mansion, drove the latest cars, then traveled the world. Yet, despite all the riches, something was missing. Every woman he met seemed more interested in his fortune than in him. Time and again, he faced disappointment when the truth about their intentions surfaced. He longed for something real, true love that saw beyond his wealth. One night, after overhearing a conversation between his supposed fiancée and her friends about how lucky she was to have secured the richest young man in town, Liam felt a sharp pang of betrayal. He realized he was nothing but a prize to most women. That night, he made a bold decision. He would leave everything behind, disguise himself as a common man, and seek love in its purest form. The thought excited and terrified him. But he knew it was the only way to find what his heart truly desired. Before dawn, Liam packed a small bag with a few essential items. He ditched his designer clothes for simple, worn-out attire and took just enough money for emergencies. Slipping past the mansion's security, he walked to the nearest bus station, blending into the morning crowd. The smell of roasted maize filled the air as vendors set up their stalls, unaware that a billionaire's son walked among them. He bought a ticket to Makutano, a remote village far from Nairobi. As the bus rumbled away from the city, Liam looked out the window, watching the towering skyscrapers fade into rolling hills and endless fields. A mix of fear and excitement coursed through him. This was his new beginning. Makutano was unlike anything Liam had ever known. The air was fresh, and the roads were lined with small mud houses, some with thatched roofs, others with tin sheets. The market buzzed with activity as villagers bartered goods and children ran barefoot laughing freely. For the first time in a long while, Liam felt at peace. As he wandered through the market, he asked around for work. Many shook their heads, skeptical of a stranger seeking employment. Then, an elderly woman, Mama Bahati, pointed him to the house of Madam Jelia, a strict businesswoman who needed a houseboy. "She's tough," Mama Bahati warned, "but fair if you prove yourself." Liam nodded, ready to embrace his new reality. Madam Jelia was not one to tolerate laziness. She eyed Liam suspiciously before giving him a chance. His tasks were endless: fetching water from the well, scrubbing floors, cooking and running errands. The work was exhausting, but Liam refused to complain. For the first time, he experienced life without privilege. His muscles ached, and his hands, once soft, grew rough with blisters. The housemaid, Nia, often teased him. "You don't look like a houseboy," she remarked one evening, watching him struggle with a heavy bucket of water. Liam simply smiled, keeping his secret buried. Despite the hardship, he felt something: new purpose. He was learning resilience, something wealth had never taught him. One evening while fetching water from the village well, Liam met Zai, a young woman with warm brown eyes and a radiant smile. She was different from anyone he had ever met. She didn't seem impressed by wealth or status. She cared about kindness and hard work. Zai often came to the well at the same time as Liam, and soon, their conversations grew deeper. She spoke of her dreams to become a teacher and help village children. Liam admired her passion. For the first time, he felt truly seen, not as a rich man, but as a person. Liam and Zai's bond strengthened with time. She enjoyed his company and was drawn to his humility. She didn't question his past but appreciated his hard work. They shared meals, laughed over village tales, and sometimes sat by the river watching the sunset. Liam found himself falling for her. One evening as they walked back from the well, Keto, a wealthy businessman, approached them. He eyed Liam with disdain before turning to Zai. "You deserve better than a houseboy," he scoffed. Zai shot him a glare. "I choose my company," she said firmly, grabbing Liam's hand and walking away. Keto, humiliated by Zai's rejection, grew resentful. He spread rumors that Liam was a fraud, a man hiding something. Soon Madame Jolia heard the whispers and started questioning Liam about his past. "Who are you really?" she demanded one morning. Liam remained calm, insisting he was just a man looking for honest work. Zai, on the other hand, began facing pressure from her family. "A houseboy. You can do better," her mother scolded. But Zai refused to listen. "Liam is kind, hardworking, and that's what matters," she argued. Their closeness did not go unnoticed. Pamela, Liam's ex-fiancée, had grown suspicious of his disappearance and had hired a private investigator to find him. When she received photos of him living as a common houseboy and spending time with another woman, she was furious. "She's just a school teacher. She has nothing compared to you, Liam," Pamela shouted as she found him near the school. "Come home. Your father is worried sick." But Liam refused. "This is my life now, Pamela. And I'm happy." Zai looked at him, confused. What does she mean, come home? Liam hesitated. He had kept his true identity a secret. If she found out, would she still look at him the same way? Just as Liam was beginning to rebuild his relationship with Zai, a new challenge emerged. A sleek black SUV rolled into Makutano village, an uncommon sight that immediately drew attention. The driver, a tall, well-dressed man in expensive designer clothes, stepped out with confidence. His name was Charles Okoth, a wealthy businessman from the city who had taken an interest in Zai. Unlike Liam, Charles made no effort to hide his wealth. He arrived bearing extravagant gifts, gold jewelry, imported fabrics, and even promises of sponsoring the school if Zai would agree to be his wife. The villagers were in awe of his generosity, and even Mama Bahati, Liam's employer, praised Charles as a real man who knows how to treat a woman. Liam, on the other hand, was deeply troubled. He had fought hard to prove his sincerity to Zai, but Charles's arrival threatened everything. At first, Zai remained polite but distant from Charles. She thanked him for his gifts but did not show any romantic interest. However, Charles was persistent. He visited the school daily, promising to build better classrooms and supply the children with new books. Some villagers began encouraging Zai to accept his proposal, saying, "A man with money can change your life." Liam could not stay silent. Something about Charles did not sit right with him. He discreetly began asking around about Charles's background, and soon, he uncovered a dark secret. Charles wasn't just here for Zai, he had plans to buy large portions of village land at that cheap prices, driving families out of their homes. One evening, Liam confronted Charles. "Why are you really here, Charles? Do you love Zai, or are you just using her to gain the villagers' trust?" Charles smirked, unbothered. "Does it matter? In the end, people follow success. Unlike you, I can give Zai the life she deserves." Furious but determined, Liam knew he had to warn Zai and the entire village before it was too late. Liam wasted no time. That night, he visited Zai at her home and told her everything he had learned about Charles's true intentions. He explained how Charles planned to buy village lands at a low price, pretending to be generous while secretly plotting to evict families who had lived there for generations. At first, Zai was skeptical. "Liam, are you saying this because you are jealous?" she asked, frowning. "Charles has been kind to the village. He has given books to the children and promised to improve the school." Liam sighed. "Zai, I would never lie to you. Just think about it, why would a wealthy man from the city suddenly take such an interest in a small village like ours? Why is he so eager to impress everyone? Zai's expression softened as doubt crept into her mind. She had been cautious about Charles, but now Liam's words gave her a reason to be concerned. She decided to do some investigating of her own before making any decisions. Determined to find the truth, Zai began observing Charles more closely. She noticed how he avoided discussing his past and how he skillfully charmed the villagers with grand promises but never followed through completely. When she overheard him speaking on the phone about securing land deals, her suspicions were confirmed. The final blow came when she visited the village chief, who confided in her. "That man Charles came to me last week, offering to buy large pieces of land," the chief said. "He claimed he wanted to build a business that would bring jobs, but something about him didn't feel right." Zai felt a deep sense of betrayal. She had almost been fooled, just like the rest of the village. She rushed to find Liam, her heart pounding with urgency. When she found him at Mama Bahati's house, she looked at him with new understanding. "You were right, Liam. We need to stop him before it's too late." Liam felt a mixture of relief and admiration for Zai. She had trusted him, despite the temptation of wealth. Now, together, they had to protect their village from Charles's deception. Zai and Liam rushed to the village chief's house and requested an urgent meeting with the elders. The chief, now suspicious of Charles as well, agreed. That evening, under the large baobab tree at the village square, the elders gathered, along with concerned villagers. Liam stood before them and laid out everything he had uncovered about Charles. He explained how the man was not here for love or generosity but to buy their land cheaply and later sell it for a fortune. Many villagers gasped in disbelief, while others nodded, already wary of Charles's smooth talk. Charles, sensing the tension, arrived at the meeting and tried to defend himself. "This is all a misunderstanding," he said, smiling. "I only wish to help the village grow. Why would I do such a thing?" The chief looked him in the eye and said, "If you truly wish to help, then put your promises in writing and swear before the council." Charles hesitated, and at that moment the villagers knew the truth. The villagers, now wary, demanded answers from Charles. He attempted to charm his way out of the situation, but the chief insisted that he sign a written agreement. Charles hesitated, his confident facade cracking under pressure. Finally, in frustration, he lashed out. "You people are fools. Do you think you can survive without progress?" The crowd gasped, and murmurs of discontent spread. Liam stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Progress should not come at the cost of our homes and our dignity." Seeing the villagers turning against him, Charles hurriedly left the meeting, vowing revenge. But the people of Makutano had made their decision, they would protect their land. As Charles stormed out of the village meeting, the atmosphere in Makutano remained tense. Villagers exchanged worried glances, murmuring among themselves about what would happen next. Zai, standing beside Liam, felt both relief and fear. They had exposed Charles, but a man like him would not back down so easily. The village chief cleared his throat. "We must stay united. Charles may try to retaliate, but if we stand together, he cannot deceive us again." Liam nodded. "We must also spread the truth beyond our village. Other communities must know about his schemes." The villagers agreed, and that night a plan was formed to ensure no one fell for Charles's tricks again. Meanwhile, Liam and Zai walked home together, feeling the weight of the night's events. "Thank you for believing in me," Liam said softly. "You stood up for what was right." Zai smiled. "And so did you. That's what truly matters." True to their fears, Charles was not done with Makutano. The next morning, his men arrived, spreading lies about Liam. They told the villagers that Liam was not who he claimed to be, that he had come to the village with his own hidden agenda. Some villagers, still dazzled by Charles's wealth, began to doubt. What if Liam tricked us? One of them whispered. He came here with nothing, yet now he's a hero. Liam was devastated, but Zai refused to let the lies win. She gathered the children he had helped, the families he had worked for, and stood before the villagers. Liam has been one of us since he arrived, she declared. Has he not worked hard? Has he not treated us with respect? Wealth is not what makes a man good, it is his heart. Slowly, the doubt faded, and the people once again rallied around Liam. Charles, watching from a distance, realized he had lost. Furious, he got into his car and drove away, vowing never to return. With Charles gone, the village felt a renewed sense of peace. Life slowly returned to normal, and Liam found himself truly becoming a part of Makutano. He worked even harder, helping to rebuild what Charles had destroyed, and the villagers grew to respect him even more. One day, the village chief approached Liam and Zai. You have proven your worth, young man, he said. You came to us with nothing, and yet you have given us so much. I believe you have found your true home. Liam smiled, glancing at Zai. I believe I have. Zai beamed. And I believe your journey is only beginning. As the days passed, Liam and Zai grew closer. What had started as a friendship rooted in trust and respect slowly blossomed into something deeper. Liam admired Zai's courage and kindness, while Zai was drawn to Liam's humility and resilience. One evening, as they sat by the river watching the sunset, Liam finally spoke. Zai, I never imagined that leaving my life behind would lead me here. But now, I can't imagine my life without you. Zai looked at him, her heart pounding. Liam, you have shown me what true character means. You didn't need riches to prove your worth, you proved it through your actions. And that is the kind of man I could love. Liam took her hand, his heart swelling with joy. Then let me prove it to you every day. A few weeks later, Liam decided it was time to take the next step. He had no extravagant ring or fancy suit, just his heart and an unshakable love for Zai. He spent the day preparing a small but meaningful setting under the old baobab tree where they often met. That evening, as Zai arrived, she saw Liam standing there, a warm smile on his face. Zai, when I left my home, I was searching for something real, something true. I found that in you. Will you marry me? Tears welled in Zai's eyes as she nodded. Yes, Liam. 1,000 times, yes. The villagers, who had been hiding nearby, burst into cheers. They had known this moment was coming, and they were ready to celebrate. The entire village came together to prepare for the wedding. Women wove beautiful kitenge fabrics for Zai's dress, while the men built a grand pavilion from wood and flowers. Laughter and joy filled the air as everyone contributed to making the day special. Liam, still overwhelmed by the love of the people, worked alongside them. I never had a big family, he told the village chief, but now I have an entire village as my family. The chief smiled. That is because you earned their love, Liam. As the day drew near, the excitement filled the air. Zai looked at her dress, feeling the weight of what was to come. Tomorrow, I become Liam's wife, she whispered, her heart full. The wedding day arrived, and the entire village gathered to witness the union of Liam and Zai. Drummers played rhythmic beats, and dancers swayed to the joyful sounds. Zai walked down the aisle, her dress flowing gracefully, as Liam stood waiting, his heart pounding with anticipation. You may now speak your vows, the village elder announced. Liam took Zai's hands. I came here a stranger, but I leave this moment as a man who has found his home. You are my heart, my love, and my future. Zai's voice trembled with emotion. Liam, you taught me that love is not about riches but about truth and kindness. I vow to stand by your side forever. With those words, they were pronounced husband and wife. As they embraced, the villagers erupted in cheers, dancing and singing in celebration of love that was pure and true. As the celebrations faded into the night, Liam and Zai sat beneath the baobab tree, where their love story had truly begun. The flickering lanterns in the village cast a warm glow over the joyous gathering, but in this quiet moment, it was just the two of them. "Can you believe we are finally here?" Zai asked, resting her head on Liam's shoulder. Liam smiled, lacing his fingers through hers. "It feels like a dream, but one I never want to wake up from." The villagers continued celebrating, dancing, and sharing stories of love and laughter. But for Liam and Zai, their greatest adventure was just beginning. A few weeks into their marriage, Liam received unexpected news. His father, the wealthy tycoon he had left behind, had fallen ill. A messenger arrived in the village, urging Liam to return home. "Liam, your father needs you," the messenger said. "He realizes now that he was wrong. He regrets everything." Zai watched as conflicting emotions crossed Liam's face. "What will you do?" she asked gently. Liam took a deep breath. "I left that life behind, but he is still my father. I have to see him." Zai squeezed his hand. "Then I will go with you." With the blessing of the village, they prepared for their journey, uncertain of what awaited them in the world Liam had left behind. As Liam and Zai arrived at the grand estate, memories flooded Liam's mind. The towering gates, the luxurious mansion, and the servants who once attended to his every need, it all felt foreign now. His father lay weak in his bed, his eyes widening when he saw Liam. "My son, you came back." Liam nodded, stepping closer. "I had to." His father's gaze shifted to Zai, and for a moment, silence filled the room. Then, with a weak smile, he whispered, "She is the kind of woman I should have wanted for you all along." Tears welled in Zai's eyes. Perhaps change was possible after all. Days passed, and as Liam's father slowly recovered, he made a surprising announcement. "Liam, I want you to take over the family business. You have shown wisdom beyond wealth. You can lead with heart." Liam looked at Zai, then at the village chief, who had accompanied them. "Makutano is my home now," Liam said. "But if I can use my position to help others, then I will accept, but on my own terms." His father nodded, a proud tear escaping his eye. "Then I have no doubt you will change lives." With Zai by his side, Liam knew that love had truly led him to where he was meant to be, not just in wealth, but in purpose. Liam accepted, but rather than moving back to the city, he and Zai made Makutano their base, using the resources of his father's business to develop schools, clinics, and better opportunities for the villagers. His father, now retired, watched with pride as his son transformed the family empire into something meaningful. One evening, standing under the same baobab tree where their love had blossomed, Zai smiled at Liam. "You left to find true love, and in the end, you found purpose too." Liam kissed her forehead. "Because love led me to the right path." And with that, their journey of love and purpose continued, proving that wealth without love meant nothing, but love with purpose could change the world. The end.